guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So, if you've never seen me before, my name is Chelsea and I write books about black girls who aren't all that nice. And today, you guys, is Wednesday, August 9th. So, that means that in exactly 3 weeks, roughly, my second book, We Are Dying Gods, is going to be out in the world, which is kind of unreal, kind of crazy, but I'm also like, okay, things are coming together. So I have all the materials for my book boxes to go out. The books are here, literally in that corner over there. All the supplies are supposed to be getting here this week, and I am like genuinely excited to be sending it out. So if you're watching this, I do want to let you know that we are going to be having a live stream celebration on my channel August 29th. That is the day it releases. It is also my co-host of the Melanin chat, Audra Russell. It is her birthday, so we are going to be doing a birthday celebration, a book release celebration, and all that good stuff. So if you want to join us, then I'll add like a thumbnail or something over here and you guys can come hang out with us. But that being said, the update for right now. So if you are an author, you can probably understand where I'm coming from when I'm about to say this, but now that We Are Dying Gods is done, like completely done, it's written, it's edited, it's formatted, it is literally here in its physical format, I am ready to move on to my next project. So if you guys have been following me on my other platforms, or you know me off of like this particular platform, this particular square, rectangle, whatever you want to call it on YouTube, then you'll know that I've been working on my next project already. I talked about getting my story Bible together in a couple of places and how that's been going. Well, that being said, I kind of got everything together. It's been very much a learning process because I am not a planner, but pretty much all the stuff is together, and I have started working on chapter 1 for my next novel, which I'm calling Project Necromancer, and so I'm ready to like do an official title thing. But yeah, so Project Necromancer, and I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my last update, but as of right now, as of this morning at like 8:58 a.m., I have written the first chapter and I have reviewed it. So right now my process is looking a little bit different since I have been working on the Wrath of the Gods series. With both of Brandy's books, I was like, okay, I have a system. So my thought process is more like with We Are the Origin, the first book of the series, I was like, I am creating the process. I've never done this before. I am trying to figure out what works for me. Found a couple of really good things. Awesome. Then with We Are Dying Gods, I was like, okay, let's hone the process. Let's get this a little bit better. What do I actually need? What's just fluff? What do I need to add into this process to make it work better? Okay, figure that out. So now with Project Necromancer, I'm like, okay, how can I refine it even more so that it's simple and replicatable and I can do it all the time and I can give myself reasonable timelines? Because one of the things that I realized with We Are Dying Gods is that timeline I gave myself of like basically like a pure just like 5 months to write the book, and then everything else had to be done in that remaining like 5 or 6 months. I was like, you know what, this is stressful. This is stressful. So trying to be mindful of that this go round, of how long it just takes me when I'm moving comfortably. So that being said, one of the things that I have worked into my system as of right now is basically once I draft a chapter, I sleep on it for a night and then I come back to it and then I read it again and fresh eyes, even though it's like only a couple of hours. Usually it's enough for me to like catch the most glaring mistakes. And then I make any tweaks to it that I need to, and then I send it off to Ben, which I've already talked about. He's my PFP, my primary feedback provider. If you haven't seen the video for that, go check it out. It's also on the podcast if you just want to listen to it. But yeah, I'll link that in the description below. But that's basically been the process, and the process is still the same. But one thing that I have realized working on the story Bible and also watching El Penelope, like if y'all are not watching and tuned into her Imaginary Friends podcast, I highly recommend that you give it a chance, because I find so many like helpful gems in the stuff that she talks about. So that being said, slight plug, go check it out, but she's amazing. Anyway, she talked about how she, in her process for her triad edits, because you know she's hybrid, they send her back, you know, her edits, and she goes through it, yada yada yada, and she's like, it used to be like in a print, but you know, PDFs, yada yada, all that good stuff, technology. Go watch go watch her podcast if you want her take on it. But she did mention basically she had a Remarkable, and she would read through the PDF on there, make her notes, and then upload them. And I was like, oh, that's probably what I'm missing, because for me, what I noticed with both We Are the Origin and We Are Dying Gods is that once I got the physical copy of the book, I would notice things that I just did not catch in the original read through. No matter how many edits I did, no matter how many beta readers went through it, no matter how many times I ran it through like Pro Writing Aid or whatever program, there was always something that I missed. And so I was like, you know what? Probably having that step where it's just like I have a PDF and I can't edit it is probably what I'm missing. So lo and behold, I got me a Remarkable. Is it partly because Leslie Penelope mentioned it? Probably. But also I've had it for like a week and I've used it every day this week, and it is so freaking helpful, y'all. Like, it's crazy. I was literally talking about it in my author council last night, like how it's just been game changing for how my brain thinks and processes my stories. It's wild. So that being said, one thing that I have been doing for Project Necromancer is I wrote chapter 1, but I reviewed it on here, which is probably the aspect of this whole process that's a little bit different for me, because I know most people save the PDF read through or whatever until the very last step, like that is their final stage of editing. And for me, I'm like, I don't know, like, let's flip that. And so my first pass is through the PDF. That's how I'm trying to get this time for Project Necromancer, because I realized that when I'm reading through the PDF, the types of things that I'm catching are like flow and like word choice and, oh, I can make this sound better. And they're like, just, I don't want to say artistic choices, but like literally they're like artistic choices. I mean, I catch the big stuff too, like if words are out of place or if I skip something or yada yada yada. But generally speaking, with the PDF for me, I'm like, oh, I can reword the sentence to make it better. That's mostly the type of stuff that I'm catching on the PDF. And so I'm like, if I'm making big changes like that, I want to be doing that early on instead of at the very end. And then once I do that, which is my goal for today, make those changes in my Word document. Once I do that, my goal is to then put it through Pro Writing Aid, which I pay for the lifetime membership for. So put it through Pro Writing Aid, make sure I catch all the smaller stuff, and then hopefully I will have a clean document to send out to Ben, who's my PFP, and then also my author council, who are, I'll say, like the equivalent of critique partners. Basically the way our Discord is set up, and I may make a whole video about this later if you guys are interested, so if you are, let me know in the description below. But basically the way our Discord is set up is like we all have our own unique channels that we can post about our specific things in, but then we also have like a writing channel and like a general just like talk based hee hee ha ha kind of channel. And so in our individual channels, we've all just kind of been posting like individual chapters or whatever. And personally, I have found that to be extremely helpful, simply because it is like, for me, I like to give feedback in short bursts. Like, I am unlikely to sit down and read a whole book at one time. That's why I suck at beta reading. If y'all didn't know that, I suck at beta reading, because normally I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I want to sit down and read a whole, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 word novel that needs feedback or work. That's just not how my brain works. So for the author council, we're kind of at this point just uploading individual chapters as we go along, as we're working on them. And I don't know, we'll see how that works. I'll let you guys know. So far so good though. So no complaints. That being said, you guys, I just kind of wanted to keep you updated. I am also going to be doing something this go round that I have not done before, and I'm going to be basically dual wielding my books. So while I am working on Project Necromancer, I'm also going to be working on the third book of the Wrath of the Gods trilogy. So this is going to be the last book in the series in like the main story. I don't know in the future if I'm going to do like a prequel or a spin-off or anything like that, but the main storyline, I am also going to be trying to work on that. Mostly because while We Are Dying Gods is fresh, I feel it really inspired to just like write a couple of things. So I was like, I don't want to put this off. So we're going to be trying to dual wield, because ultimately my goal for myself, well, my camera died in the middle of me recording, so take that for what it is. But I'm gonna take that as a sign to wrap this up and to actually get to work. So that being said, you guys, I am going to be working on what I said I was going to be. I'm going to be updating Nessa's stuff. And basically what I was saying is that I'm going to be dual wielding both books at the same time. I'm going to be working on Project Necromancer and the third book of the trilogy at the same time. So take that for what it will. Wish me luck. And also let me know whatever you're working on down in the comments below. And yeah, that's it, you guys. I'm going to get to work and I will try to take you along with me. But yeah, until the next update. Bye. So today is Thursday, August 10th, and it's what, 8:40 in the morning, not quite 9 o'clock yet. So check in from yesterday because I did not record an update. So I told you guys that I was going to be working on Project Necromancer, which I did all day. So yay, go me. But as is the case, I say this all the time in like podcasts and on the channel and stuff, but y'all, Benjamin, my husband, is literally my biggest critique person ever. He's my primary feedback provider, but I really, like, I spent all this time writing this chapter, y'all. Had put so much thought into it, had edited it. I was like, okay, cool. This is it. This is the starting point. He read it and he was like, yeah, so. And he does this thing with his face and I'm like, he enjoys having this power. He does. And I'm like, just tell me what you thought about it. And so he finally gets around to it. He's like, you know, it wasn't bad, but he was like, it also like wasn't good. It wasn't your level of quality. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And it's like, on one hand, part of me is just like, oh my God, thank you. You think I'm a good writer and you think that I can do better. Awesome. Then the other part of me is just like, well, you said it wasn't bad, so like maybe we could just rock with this. And it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I'm torn, because part of me is like, I want to get into the fun part of the story, but I also know that my perfectionism is just like, no, like I need to have a good hook. I want something that's going to grab a reader and drag them into the story. So I'm like, okay, I can't leave it at what it is. But I'm also like, hey, even my mediocre has gotten better. So like, that's also a win. That's also a win, I guess. But that being said, it's kind of crazy because like in my mind, I feel like I know things internally, but then when Ben says it, I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of figured that. Kind of like when you are trying to like get by on like your parents not noticing that you did or did not do something and they call you out on it, you're like, yeah, I knew. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. That's kind of what it feels like, except I wasn't intentionally trying to like not do my best. So I don't know how to explain it. Point is, today is Thursday. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to be hosting writing sprints on my channel. I kind of took a break from it for the months of like June and July for the most part. Mostly because I was working on We Are Dying Gods and formatting it, getting the physical versions ready to go. But since it releases in basically like 2 weeks, like I'm done with that. So on to the next project, as they say. So that is going to be what I'm working on today. I also wrote the summary for Project Necromancer and my author council said that it was pretty good. So I will probably rock with that until something changes, but we will see. We will see. But yeah, that's kind of my update for everything Project Necromancer related at the moment. I'm also planning to update my Patreon. So if you're not signed up for it, $5 gets you in. But I am planning to give some like character sheets for the characters, and also hopefully be able to give some snippets pretty soon. I definitely want to be able to share the summary that I've written with them, and also kind of talk about this process. That's pretty much it for me, you guys. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, appreciate you. You're amazing. And please drop like a green heart in the description box below, because We Are Dying Gods is coming out, and that's kind of the emoji I like to use for the Wrath of the Gods series. So yeah, in my next update, I will probably be talking to you guys a little bit about my process for book 3, hopefully. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's it. Until next time, you guys. Hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye, guys.